want to say good afternoon to you all, to say bonjour à tous, assalamu alaikum, konnichiwa, habari gani, wassalamu alaikum. I say this because when you greet somebody, whichever language you use, it will always put a smile on that face. And if they don't show it on their face, rest assured, down in the heart, they are smiling. So the president of the African Development Bank Group, Dr. C.D. Oldtab, the executive director of Japan, Austria, Argentina, Brazil, and Saudi Arabia, Nakai Tomoki-san, the bank's vice president for finance and chief finance officer, Hasato Nsele, the deputy director of the Japan International Cooperation Agency, that's JICA, Shigeo Honsu, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and all protocol observed, welcome to this special event hosted by the African Development Bank Group and the government of Japan with coordination from the bank's Asian External Representation Office led by Director Osamu Kawanishi-san. We have a delegation of nearly 100 from Japan. They've traveled more than 7,000 miles, some of those flights lasting more than 10 hours, to this great city of Rabat in Morocco to attend the Africa Investment Forum Market Days 2025. Let's give them a round of applause, please. And why we're doing this is because their strong presence and contribution sends a powerful message that Africa is indeed the investment frontier of the 21st century. Japan, one of the world's largest economies and technologically advanced countries, is saying we have confidence in Africa. We want to work with Africa. It's the second time Japan is sending a strong delegation to this unique investment platform that is mobilizing capital for transformational development. As is often said, where your treasure is, there your heart shall also be. Now we know where Japan's heart is. It's in Africa. And you know, a friend values you when they share with you their most valuable asset in life, and that is time and a bit of sushi. So Japan is a friend of Africa. Mr. President, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 4 hours of rich, insightful, and empowering presentations and discussions focused on development. I will shortly be inviting Mr. President to deliver his opening remarks, and due to an extremely busy schedule, Mr. President will leave soon after that for other engagements. And then I will give further details about our afternoon program thereafter. For now, ladies and gentlemen, help me to invite the President of the African Development Bank Group, Dr. C.D. Oldtab, to share with us his remarks. Mr. President.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Rabat, welcome to AIF, welcome to Africa. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to the Japan Special Room at the Africa Investment Forum 2025. Today, we are gathering in this session, which is meant to deal with leveraging EPSA to bridge the financing gap for Africa's private sector, and the second session on integrating Africa into global value chains, mobilizing private investment through co-financing and credit enhancement. This event builds on the momentum of the Tokyo International Conference, TICAD 9, held in Yokohama during the month of August this year, and reflects our shared commitment to transform strategic pledges into tangible investment opportunities. Just 2 weeks ago, I had the privilege and honor of visiting Japan, where I met with President Tanaka of JICA to reaffirm our partnership under EPSA 6 and explore ways and means to mobilize private sector financing. I also had very productive discussion with JBIC Governor Hayashi and NEXI CEO Mr. Kuroda. And I'm happy to have the chair of the Berlin Union and deputy of NEXI with us. Welcome. So this meeting helped us to discuss how to promote more business and technology from Japan by providing innovative financing, guarantees, and insurance. In addition, I engaged with senior executives from Japanese trading houses and financial institutions, and I see some of the banks we have met during my visit to Tokyo. They are here in the room, and welcome. We discussed many points, among them how to strengthen the collaboration on co-financing, credit enhancement, risk-sharing mechanisms that will unlock large-scale investment in Africa. I also participated in the launch of the Africa-Asia platform at the United Nations University in Tokyo, a groundbreaking initiative to foster knowledge exchange, innovation, and youth entrepreneurship between our two continents, between Africa and Asia. Ladies and gentlemen, Africa stands at a pivotal point. It's a pivotal moment because the continent is growing very fast. And the potential of the continent is immense. But unlocking this potential requires bold partnerships and innovative financing. Japan has been a steadfast partner in this journey. Now we are starting the implementation of EPSA 6, which is the sixth round in the EPSA process. Japanese world-class technology, advanced industrial expertise, and strong financial institutions can play a transformative role in Africa's development, whether in infrastructure, renewable energy, digital innovation, or critical minerals. We already see examples of this collaboration in action. In Kenya, for instance, Japanese companies such as Toyota, Tsusho, and Fuji Electric, backed by JBIC and NEXI through TDB, are leading the development of the Menengai geothermal power plant, a 35-megawatt facility that will provide clean, reliable energy and contribute to Kenya's green transition, again with AFDB co-financing to ensure sustainability and scale. Another example is in Côte d'Ivoire. NEC is deploying its CropScope digital agriculture platform and e-voucher system to improve farm management and ensure fair distribution of seeds and fertilizers, covering over 30,000 hectares of farmland, and boosting food security supported by AFDB financing alongside Japanese technology. These are tangible demonstrations of what is possible when we combine Africa's opportunities with Japan's strength and AFDB catalytic financing. Today's sessions will feature panelists from Japanese leading corporation, major financial institution, and dynamic startups. Their participation reflects the diversity and depth of Japan's engagement with Africa, from cutting-edge technology to robust financial solutions. Through initiatives like EPSA and FAPA, we have already shown how catalytic funding and technical assistance can de-risk projects and attract private investment. The discussions are not just theoretical. They are about real projects, real impact, and real opportunities for collaboration. To this end, I have introduced the refined strategic vision based on the 4 cardinal points. First, to enhance access to capital, mobilize Africa's financial resources. Second, to reform and consolidate the continental financial system, institution, and talent to assert Africa's great agency. Third, to harness the demographic transformation for economic development. And fourth, build climate-resilient infrastructure and robust value addition to natural resources. My call to action is simple. Let us move beyond dialogue to delivery. Let us seize this opportunity and this moment to forge partnerships that create jobs, drive innovation, and ensure shared prosperity for Africa and for Japan. Together, we can turn commitment into concrete results and build a future of mutual growth and resilience. Thank you, and let us make this session a milestone in advancing Africa-Japan cooperation. Arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Once again, as he settles down and plans to leave, let us give Mr. President another round of applause, please. Yeah, because he's just told us about his engagement with Japan. He was there, as you heard, just about a fortnight ago, speaking about the strength of Japan, its technological power, and the catalytic role of the bank, and Japan as a steadfast partner of Africa, speaking about the investment opportunities in Africa. And those examples we're hearing here from Kenya, the geothermal power plant in Kenya, and also the digital platform in the agricultural sector in Cote d'Ivoire, just a few of the many examples of Japan's influence in Africa's development. And let me also recognize the presence of the bank group's senior vice president, Marilo Akin Olugbade. Welcome. Thank you so much for finding time to be with us. So having said that, we now want to go into what the president said, EPSA. When you talk about EPSA, it's a word that sits so lightly on your lips and you wonder, what is it? It sounds like a name of something so nice. So what is it in full? It's Enhanced Private Sector Assistance for Africa. That's EPSA. And for a global event where the private sector is at the heart of discussions and transactions and resource mobilization, you will be keen to hear more about what exactly EPSA does. And I'm proud to introduce a senior colleague with admirable expertise in mobilization and investment of financial resources, as well as financial innovation, is the African Development Bank Group's Vice President for Finance and Chief Finance Officer, Hassatu Nsele. Please welcome. Let's welcome her.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to see you here. Welcome to, I almost said welcome to Abidjan. So no, welcome to Rabat. Dear Shigeru Honzu, Deputy Director General of JICA, distinguished participants, honorable guests, colleagues, a very warm welcome to you for this Africa Investment Forum, the Market Days event. We are delighted to participate in this Japan special room to discuss with you the topic leveraging the enhanced private sector assistance for Africa initiative to bridge the financing gap for Africa's private sector. As our esteemed colleague, the Director for Communication, indicated, EPSA, what is EPSA? The Enhanced Private Sector Assistance in Africa. EPSA, the acronym, is more than the acronym. It's a framework for resource mobilization and partnership between the African Development Bank and Japan through JICA. The main objective is to support the implementation of the African Development Bank's private sector development strategy. It is the largest and the longest standing bilateral partnership that the African Development Bank Group has had with any member countries. Since its launch 20 years ago, EPSA has been very successful in implementing over 5 phases of the project. So during this period, the African Development Bank Group and Japan have contributed large billions of dollars to investments in sovereign and non-sovereign operations. And this covers different sectors such as energy, connectivity, health, agriculture, and nutrition. Provided 112.65 million in technical assistance in capacity building. So we really, truly appreciate this partnership. So in addition, the African Development Bank has already reached a $4 billion joint co-financing target for this 5th and current EPSA, and a joint target of $5.5 billion during the 9th TICAD meeting in Yokohama this past August. So these really prove and demonstrate that the important role that the EPSA program plays in filling the financing gap for the African Development Bank and for Africa's private sector. So as for the role and impact of FAPA, the Fund for African Private Sector Assistance, in supporting the private sector, FAPA has been simply catalytic. It strengthened the technical, regulatory, and institutional foundations to make private investments viable. Supported primarily by the government of Japan, it operates where uncertainty is highest and where early bottlenecks often prevent promising ideas from becoming investable opportunities. So FAPA doesn't provide risk-sharing instruments. FAPA improves quality, project quality, and investor confidence by financing feasibility, by providing transaction advisory services, skills development, the upgrading of small and medium-sized enterprises. So these initiatives, they reduce the information gap, they enhance implementation capacity, and they improve predictability. So there is a visible impact so far in supply value chains, green skills, market readiness, and energy access. So I mean, I can talk on and on about the importance of FAPA and EPSA, but in numbers, through its partnership with Japan, FAPA has become really the cornerstone instrument within our blended finance architecture and upstream transaction development pipeline. So FAPA has facilitated $60 million in SME lending, seed capital, and new financial instrument, reaching more than 135,000 SMEs and approximately 15 million MSMEs clients, while reinforcing governance and risk management. It has mobilized over $80 million in complementary public financing and generated 30 policy and regulatory instruments that strengthen institutional and governance framework. In support of trade and market access, FAPA has deployed 20 digital finance and trade platforms, linking over 2,500 SMEs to regional buyers and generating an estimated $13 billion in cumulative transaction value. In the infrastructure space, it has supported the early stage structuring of PPPs with investment potentials between $500 million and $1 billion. And at the enterprise level, programs have trained more than 15,000 people, enabled the creation of approximately 900 new ventures, and supported over 250,000 jobs. So I believe that the ensuing discussions with panelists will give us the opportunity to highlight all the aspects that I've mentioned. And thank you very much for your kind attention, and I wish you a very fruitful exchange. Arigato gozaimasu.
No, thank you so much for that, Vice President Asatu Nsele. And now, ladies and gentlemen, you heard what VP Asatu said about EPSA, which is under JICA, the longest and largest partnership between the bank and any of its members. So what is it that attracted JICA to Africa? And why is JICA investing billions of dollars in this enhanced private sector assistance for Africa? I welcome the Deputy Director of the Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA, Mr. Shigeo Honsu, to speak with us. You're welcome, sir.
Good afternoon. I'm so nervous because there's so many people participating this event. Yeah, my heart is very, very small in such occasion. Anyway, so on behalf of the Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA, I'd like to express sincere appreciation to the participant. Also, thank you very much for arranging such a nice and wonderful occasion. I'd like to say thank you for creating African Development Bank. So while my throat is remarks, but I will use the presentation in order to fill the 10 minutes. And so please allow me to make remarks like a lecture in the university. I am very worried that now is just after the lunch. Some of you may go to sleep or go to heaven during my talking. This is a point for laughing. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So in JICA, I'm coming from the private sector finance department. So JICA is working very hard and collaborate with the AFDB for the private sector development through the EPSA. But besides that, my department is doing the non-sovereign operation. So we are doing the funding or investment to the private sectors. This is also quite important item, the scheme, to develop the business environment in developing nations. So today, I would like to introduce how JICA is involved in the EPSA, also what we can do as a private sector finance and investment finance scheme for mobilizing the more private capital, also to enhance the business environment in Africa, in the African region. Please, next slide. So already EPSA scheme has been explained by the Vice President. So I want to address that JICA is really collaborating with EPSA. So EPSA is a very collaborative initiative for development of Africa private sector. So you can see the middle of the slide. There are three components of EPSA already explained by Vice President. So the left one is ACFA. So we JICA do the co-finance with the AFDB to the sovereign project. So we, JICA and FDB, provide a large amount of the concessional funding to the government. The fund used for the infrastructure development. And second one is non-sovereign lending, NSL. So this is like a two-step loan. We, JICA, provide a concessional fund to the African Development Bank, and AFDB deliver the fund to the private sectors, always a very concessional condition. The third one is FAPA. It's a technical assistance for the developing business environment, funded by Japanese government. So we, JICA, will make effort to achieve the goal of EPSA. So currently, EPSA is a phase 5. It's until end of this year. The target amount of the financial assistance is $5 billion US. Almost will be achieved. And in addition to that, already Japan and the FDB announced the next phase of EPSA, EPSA 6. So it's from next year until 2028. The amount is 10% increase, $5.5 billion US. It means a very huge amount will be incurred or invested to the business sector in African region. So I hope that most of the business sector will be enjoyed or utilize this opportunity from next year and until the 2028. So next, please. And in addition to the EPSA, today I'd like to introduce our non-sovereign operation initiative. There is we call it EDIA. EDIA. Impact Investing for Development of Emerging Africa. So we launched this initiative at the TCAT event this year, August, in line with EPSA. So JICA would like to create more impact investment with the collaboration of the partners like AFDB or other DFIs and private sectors. Our target is $1.5 billion US for 3 years, including starting this year, 2025, 2026, 27, until before the next TCAT meeting. So through this initiative, so to make the more impact investment, we would like to focus on 4 sectors, like financial inclusion, green growth, including the renewable energy development, and food security, including the agriculture sector development, and also healthcare coverage enhancement. So we would like to focus on these 4 sectors and create the co-financing project or opportunity with partners. So through these activities, we really expect to mobilize the more private capital to the African capital market or business sectors. Next, please. And now this slide shows the achievement in the past of the JICA non-sovereign operation, private sector finance investment scheme. So we started this non-sovereign operation 12 years ago, almost 12 years ago. In these 12 years, we have committed more than $1 billion US for the African region. But reflecting the past, some of the portfolio is for banking loan to the regional DFIs, like a DBSA, TDB, or African Exim Bank, like that. So we utilize this opportunity to enhance the SMEs, small and medium-sized enterprises development, agriculture development, or job creation. But besides that, we're also doing the equity investment. So private equity fund, we are joining some case. And especially this year, we had a TCAT. So at the timing of the TCAT, we committed several portfolios. The investment to Helios the Novaster, the CarePoint. As a banking loan, we already committed to the Tanzanian NMBs. This is a regional bank for the agriculture development. So these achievements also counted in the IDEA initiative. Next, please. And from this slide, I'd like to explain JICA has already expanded operation for private capital mobilization. So you can see that this slide, the upper one is, JICA can participate in the junior tranche for the fund. Previously, we cannot, but now we can join the junior tranche. By JICA's participation in junior tranche, private investors can make the decision to join the senior tranche. So we are very really expecting that private investors come to the fund with JICA. And also, please look at the bottom one. So previously, JICA cannot join the private equity fund without the track record. But now we try. If the fund will make the high development impact, we will seriously consider the participation to the fund. So the summary, we expand our range of operation. This is for mobilizing more private capital to the African region. The next, please. So this is a case. Sorry, I will finish 3 minutes. Please endure. Please do not go to heaven. Thank you. This is a showcase for the you can see the left side. So JICA can join the junior tranche, also even Catholic tranche. So that situation will make the private investors decide to join the fund. So this is a case for the fund for the climate issue, also venture capital fund. So the fund will contribute to the more SMEs or startup promotion. Okay, next, please. This is the last slide. Okay. So besides the first junior tranche or the first loss investment, we will be able to do the subscription of the bond. This is a new scheme which we expand our operation, our non-sovereign operation. So you can see the JICA. Okay, JICA can be the anchor investor for the green or social bond. Since JICA will be the anchor or basement for the bond issuance, so the private sector can subscribe the bond. So it's quite similar with the first loss investment. So we really would like to invite the private investors to the opportunity in the capital market or the business opportunity. So currently, since the scheme were approved by the Japanese government this year, April, so we are very exploring the opportunity to do this fund subscription. So again, JICA can be the anchor investor for the social and the green bond. Okay, so this is an introduction. Sorry, my remarks became like a lecture in the university with a slide. But I would say JICA were very serious. We'd like to make effort to develop the private sector in African region. Also, we would like to invite more private capital to the business sector in Africa. So we should do, JICA do anything what we can do, we should do. And also, we would like to be more innovative or more flexible for our goal or target. But to achieve our objective, So the partnership or collaboration with a partner is quite important, like African Development Bank or other private sectors. So I think the good idea will come up or occurred through the frequent communication or dialogue. That's why I'd like to you participant to continue the discussion or a dialogue with JICA in order to make a more good, excellent solution for the African private sector development. Thank you very much for your kind attention. That's finished. Thank you very much.
Let's be honest and say arigatou gozaimasu. And we've just seen and benefited from a very strong sense of humor and a refined storyteller that Mr. Shigeo Honsu is, Deputy Director General of Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA. Very well done, and I bet many of us are wishing we were in your lecture class, actually, because you wouldn't drive us to sleep. Thankfully, you didn't take us to heaven, although we wouldn't mind. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to get right into the discussion. I would like to invite to the podium my colleague. She's the manager of a division that looks after syndication and co-financing, Cecil Ambel. Over to you, Cecil, please. Let's give a round of applause as she'll be inviting members of our panel very soon.
Solomon? So it is my great, great honor to be moderating the session, largely because FAPA is 20 years old, and it is an instrument of the bank that has been deployed extremely flexibly in ways that are very innovative, and so a 20-year track record really provides an opportunity for reflecting, experimenting, seeing what works, and asking the question, what do we want to do more? How do we scale up? A 20-year track record is non-negligible, and we have seen FAPA deployed, for instance, as seed equity, rarely, but in ventures that are about building the fintech operating environment. It's one of the investors in Africlear. It's invested through technical assistance in developing the franchising industry. It's invested in supporting, beyond feasibility studies, the inclusion of local SMEs as suppliers into infrastructure projects, even large projects in the oil and gas or extractive industries, agro industries, to see how do we address the call for local beneficiation, local value addition, ensuring that FDI pulls the local economy along. And beyond the high-level numbers of how many companies have been affected, I always find it very compelling to hear how individuals, the life of individuals that changed. And in this respect, there's one very inspiring personal history of entrepreneurs, individual entrepreneurs, and as part of the Fashionomics program that was set up by the bank and supported by FAPA. We are seeing how individual entrepreneurs in the textile industry are basically equipped to turn their inspiration, their creative energies into businesses that literally change their lives, their own lives, the lives of their families, the lives of their employees. And this is why it is for me a great pleasure to call specific entrepreneurs or persons that are working for corporates across the Japanese business corporate environment to speak about how, to share with them their personal histories and to share with us how FAPA and the African Development Bank, as well as JICA, can change the game for them, and what ways these changes can take place. So the first person I would like to call upon is Mr. Kazuhiko Miyake of the NEC Corporation. Please come to the podium, yes. Then, yes, please. Ms. Fumiko Miyashika from Kotskots. And here the interesting angle is also textile industry. You'll see a theme coming through here. Then we have SOIC, Mr. Kuniyuki Furuta. And here the link is really digitalization. You will hear a little bit how technology can come into play in some of the most challenging environment for public good benefits. Last but not least, Mr. Yosuke Kaneko of Sora Technology. Sora Technology focuses on drone and AI solution. Mr. Koei Muto from Double Feathers Partners. And then Ms. Tamao Tada of Spaceshift. We are not going to be using the clicker because there are no presentation. And this is going to be more of an interaction, so I shall sit down with you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Miyawaki from NEC Corporation, one of the major ICT companies in Japan. I'm very pleased to having this opportunity to talk about what we are doing for African development. I was told I need to talk in 5 minutes, so maybe I have to speak very quickly, but just apologize for it. So just we NEC has the long history of business operation in Africa. It's more than 60 years, starting from the telecommunication infrastructure establishment in many African countries, supported mainly by Japanese government ODA. And we have the a company in South Africa, which is called NEC Exxon, covering all operation, especially mainly sub-Saharan region. And we did M&A, so we have been investing so many years and resources for the African operation. And this is briefly what we're doing. We are doing both multilateral contribution as well as a bilateral business development working together with the public organizations. As for multilateral, we are working with many mainly UN organizations in many countries in terms of health, public safety, like facial recognition system in the airport, or the agriculture, as well as the empowering women. Bilateral, these are a more big project actually. The automated fingerprint identification system for the National Police in Côte d'Ivoire, or the Cyber Security Center, as well as submarine cable infrastructure using JVIC assistance. Recently, we are having a co-finance support from the jointly by JICA and African Development to promote the agriculture sector. So I want to talk about agriculture. I want to very strongly saying food security is base of development. Because population is growing, there are many infrastructure, road, bridge, and others that has been developing in many countries. So many workers coming from one country, from surrounding country for work, as well as many immigrants are coming to participate in the infrastructure development. I know about that. So stable food supply or security is very important. So I want to talk about one project case. Actually, this is what we're doing in Côte d'Ivoire. So the AFTB JICA made the co-financial support to the government of Côte d'Ivoire. And as IT supplier, we have supplying digitalization, which is the visualization and traceability of agriculture activity. So I can say this is one of the successful of the EPSA. So this is digital services we are providing. Actually, we are giving one single unique ID to farmers in the country nationwide. And it's about 30,000 farmers. And, providing or distribution of inputs, which is actually seeds or fertilizer, using voucher type of things to distribute. And each farmer has the size of land is different. And what they're producing is different by farmers. So the Ministry of Agriculture want to give the appropriate volume and the quantity of the inputs to each farmers to avoid any single same amount distribution to farmers, because there will be some fraud happening, like resale or the double distribution and so on. And after giving inputs, farmers start produce their plants. This is actually, we are doing rice, maize, and cassava. So using satellite image and mapping on, and there's the farmer by farmer, we map on the map, plot on the map, and we can monitor the situation, progress of the production stages. So as well as we are providing weather forecast information and communication chat tool. So this is what we are doing. And this is just a picture image of field survey and technical demo, as well as training. And what I want to say is technology is just a tool. So the important thing is technology is nothing but tool. So important thing is what kind of value creation using technology. The meaning of value is changes before and after. Before and after, what kind of changes do you see? That is the value of technology. So like a lack of, there's some problems, issues like a lack of farmer database, the uncertainty of inputs distribution, as I mentioned, on insufficient guidance for farmers, and accuracy of evaluation report. All things, these things can be enhanced or changed. That is the value of technology. So co-creation for creating sustainable impact. We cannot do by ourselves. We are just tech company. So we have to work together with local government, farmers, developing agencies, startups, and so on. Important thing is benefits must be for all. So otherwise we cannot make a successful outcome. This is last slide. So, topic of AI is very popular recently, and climate change is very important things we have to think about. So how to cope with climate change adaptation. So using AI, we can forecast, predict the irrigation plan or crop and variety changes or the planting period changes and so on. So this is just additional information, but we are promoting AI-based solutions at this moment. And this will be able to beneficiary countries and developing agencies to take actions quickly. So thank you very much. And let's work together to realize real sustainable society. That is my message. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much. So I would like to call upon Ms. Fumiko Miyashita, the founder and serial entrepreneur, founder of Kots, to share her personal history and that of her innovations.
Good afternoon, everyone. My presentation is going to be very short because from the monitor I'm watching over here, the remaining time is counting down, so it's very pressuring. So, my name is Fumiko, founder of Kots Limited. We are based in Kampala, Uganda. We identify ourselves as a value chain development company. So we work throughout the value chain from the production to the market in different sectors, such as hospitality. We actually have the best Japanese restaurant in the continent, in agriculture and fishery. So we are just a small company, so we've been achieving those impacts through the partnership with several Japanese enterprises with different expertise. We have been trying to bridge the gap, just as the theme of the whole event says. Mainly in the quality, the gap between the expectation and the reality. We are supposed to be the beneficiary of FAPA, Fund for African Private Sector Assistance, and we are going to develop the global supply chain of the organic cotton in Uganda, involving refugees and host community in the rural area of northern Uganda. What makes this project special is the commitment of a Japanese enterprise, one of the global giants in the fabric sector, fabric industry. So our partner company has been fully committed to the market linkage creation from the beginning of the project. We believe in the potential in Ugandan cotton, and we believe that we will be able to scale it up and create a tangible impact in the society But there are also challenges. That's where exactly we are going to utilize the FAPA funding to bridge the gap. We are going to work in the farm level to improve the quality of the raw material. We are also going to equip our local partner in Uganda with a better facility in the first stage processing. Also, we are going to work in the financial literacy training for the sustainability of the operation. The beneficiaries will be able to take over the sustainable production even after the project is over. Most importantly, we are going to share the impact we are going to create throughout the project with our partner funder and our buyer, our supply chain. So we are going to visualize the impact we are creating together with the buyers and to the customers level. So that is we are going to achieve. That is what we are going to achieve by utilizing the FAPA funding. Thank you very much for your attention.
Very short and sweet indeed. Okay, then I would like to call upon Mr. Okay. Then I would like to call upon Mr. Kuniyuki Furuta, who is an entrepreneur operating in challenging environments, such as the social sector, health sector, in a country that's almost a continent, DRC, and other parts of Africa. What key difficulties does SOIC face, and how can AFDB and other development finance institutions, including the FAPA program, help overcome these challenges and narrow the financing gap?
Thank you very much for the introduction. My name is Kuniyuki Furuta, the founder CEO of SWAC. SWAC is a social startup that digitizes maternal health care in Africa. Our mission is simple, which is to reduce the maternal and newborn mortality in underserved Africa through innovation. In DRC, the maternal mortality rate is 100 times higher than in Japan. Actually, the facilities lack capacities, and many anomalies often go undetected. So we developed Espa. Espa is a digital maternal screening platform that transforms the clinical workflows using smartphone and low-cost devices, which is designed for users who rarely use smartphone, and which is designed for the use in the offline setting with automatic data upload and remote assistance once connected. And even the specialists can support the beginner midwives with a telemedicine function. The impact is clear: higher satisfaction and expanded coverage, and more than 100 serious anomalies were detected so far. To measure impact, we built Impact Attribution Model, IAM, a framework to estimate the number of saved lives, combining the screen number, screening accuracy, and treatment success. One kit can deliver 6,000 scans over 5 years at approximately $1.5, and $1 million would save roughly 3,000 lives. But these projections matters only if we can reach to the women who need the care most. And in fact, most maternal deaths occurs in the community with poor access to care. So that's why our next step is to deliver our solution directly in the villages. So many women live far from facilities, and to close this gap, we collaborate with volunteers. And actually, we are developing the ultrasound function. So today, our physicians perform ultrasound scan, but once AI function will be deployed, volunteers will conduct entire screening process. So with AI, the training days will be reduced from 7 days to 1 day, and scan time will be reduced by 10 minutes to 2, and one kit will deliver 3,000 scans. So far, we have users in 4 countries, and 250 kits were deployed, collaborating with the Ministry of Health in DRC and UNFPA and JICA. And these implementations generated our huge and unique data set of the antenatal consultation records. Since 2021, SWAC has been an official partner with the Ministry of Health, and the government purchased 200 kits using their own budgets. So strong proof of trust and huge step to the scaling up nationwide. We have collaborated with the global partners, including African Development Bank. As we look forward the scaling up, we propose 2 simple financial models. The first step is a pilot project financed by FAPA. We choose several provinces and deploy our kits, work with government system, and produce evidence and costing for scales. And for the second step, we collaborate with a program loan linked to the Universal Health Coverage Fund. Funds flow to social health insurance system with result-based triggers, enabling national procurement, training, service delivery. This two-way approach will create the scalable and financially sustainable national healthcare system. So if this direction resonates, we are very happy to continue the discussion with our potential partners to co-design this innovative financial architecture. Thank you for your listening.
This is very inspirational. Then I kindly call upon, that's for entertainment value after lunch, Mr. Yosuke Kaneko of Sora Technology. And here your core business is drone and AI solutions. You've explained how these technologies are contributing to Africa's development, please. And we'd like to hear from you what kind of support from FAPA or FDB would be needed to scale up this innovation in a way that is sustainable and contributing to the continent's development.
Okay, thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Yosuke, CEO, founder of Sora Technologies. Firstly, I would like to teach the one Japanese word, Sora. Sora is sky, means in Japanese. So we are sky technologies companies. So yeah, as I mentioned, so we are drone and AI company. So we are taking the data from the sky for surveillance, then providing the data for health and agriculture sectors. Our flagship project is the malaria elimination, work with JICA. So malaria is a big issue, not only health, but also economic issue. Then, of course, maybe everyone knows, malaria is transferred by mosquito. Then mosquito is habitat in water bodies. Then how to treat existing way is that spraying the all water bodies, but actually the only 30% is high risk breeding site. I mean 70% is just waste of money. So work with JICA that we created the special water detection technologies. So we can, using the AI, they identify only high-risk breeding sites, so 30%. So we can reduce 70% of chemicals and cost. So this is our innovation. Then we leveraged these technologies to agriculture sector with AFDB, FAPA project. So we are providing the surveillance and also spraying and also yield analytics. So our AI drone spraying, not drone spraying, AI drone spraying is focusing same as the malaria solution that we are focusing on only the needed place for spraying. After that, so that we can reduce the 60% of the chemical efficiency and also the chemical volume, sorry, not efficiency, yes. And also 4 times the total efficiency and 10 times rubber efficiency. So definitely we change the agricultures. And also we calculate the water depths. Based on that, we can calculate unnecessary methane gas. So I mean that we create the carbon credits. So we create the new salary for the farmers. Yes. And also we are not only the technology company, that we are transferring our technologies. So for the work with the local, the university, Ghana, and Sierra Leone. Yes. So finally, I would like to say, so the working with FAPA, so the FDB and also startup means speed. So speed and innovation. Yes. So for example, yesterday I get the new friends in Nigeria. Then today I will sign up MOU to start the project. So no need to slow. Speed is the most important. Speed to growth. So this is my message. Thank you so much.
So this speedily, moving on to the next item, we will hear from Mr. Kohimuto from Double Feathers Partners. And what we'd like to hear from you are your views and experiences in terms of how to work with different partners as an ecosystem, where private investors, DFIs, and government institutions each play a role. We would like to hear from you specifically what value should VCs, venture capitalists, provide to accelerate the growth of startups in Africa. Additionally, what type of support from AFDB and DFIs at large, you've heard about FAPA, are most critical to closing the funding gap and for mobilizing greater private capital?
Thank you, everyone. My name is Gohei, and thank you for having us at this conference. And we are venture capital investment firm, and at the same time, we do a consulting since 2017. We started our business in Rwanda. We expanded our business in Kenya, South Africa, and currently in Ghana. And since 2018, we have been making venture capital investments across the continent. Especially, we invest in a very early stage, and especially that's in a Series C round and in a Series A round, where we see the biggest funding gap exists. And we have been investing to Kenya, Uganda, Nigeria, Egypt, and in South Africa, and we recently invested into Angola. And together with Africa Development Bank, we have been launching our new TA facility for our upcoming new funds, particularly focusing on the mobility, logistics, and the transportation area. And the FAPA, together with the African Development Bank, and alongside with the European Commissions, and then also French development agencies are being part of this the facilities. It seems that we are having a little bit of issue with slides, but please bear with me with this the speech. And the Double Feather Partners, so far we have been promoting and accelerating and incubating more than 130 companies in venture capital space. 100 of them are African early stage company with a social high impacts, and 30 of them is actually non-African startup, but a product market fits is in African markets. So therefore, we help them to invest and expand and collaborate the business with African markets. And since 2020, we team up with JICA and launched a corporate and also open innovation program under the initiative of Next Innovation with Japan. And last year, together with NEC, he's also a speaker here today, we launched a corporate open innovation program together with an African startup selected out of the more than 100 companies, and we selected 3 top potential companies to co-create solutions and also products together with global corporates such as NEC, and integrate the solutions of African startup with a social high impact in smart city and then also agricultural industry, and we deploy solutions together under the Ninja acceleration program. And we are further launching this initiative by the private sector alone, together with the Shell Foundations and NEC from early next year, to further reinforcing the private sector investments and capitalizations. So I'm going to skip a little bit here, so we have discussed some of the parts. And I would like to emphasize on the landscape of the venture capital space in Africa. Around the 60% of the investments coming from Europe and North America, and Japan comprise of, to be honest, very small amounts, but it's actually growing. However, even though the total capital deployments compared to other regions or global investors is small, one of the key characters is that corporate investors are very, very bullish in investing into African markets. Some of the names you might know, but also the automobile industry, and then also the technology, telecom sectors, and trading firms are heavily investing into Africa, despite of the facts that are probably in Europe and in European contexts or American context, family office, foundation, DFI, angel investors are very, very supporting the tech ecosystem. But in Japan side, more of the corporate players are investing. And the corporate players have a significant role. And this is this general investor basis in each regions. In the US, still small, but probably around 9%, 10%. In Japan, around 30% of the LP investors are corporates. In Europe, around 10%. And I think that this is the additionality that a lot of Japanese players can leverage and then bridge, bringing the corporate appetites, collaborations, unlocking the private capital, and then potential direct engagements, investments, and potential M&A deal flows along the line. And the last around 6 to 7 years, Africa has been a very M&A-driven market. Around 250 deals have been exited through M&A rather than IPO. So in this type of the situation scenario, infra or in and out in type of the M&A transactions have to be a center of the venture capital investments rather than focusing on the IPO in African markets. And I think that a corporate player is quite lacking in African contexts. And so therefore, player like us, venture capital investors, we come in early that the corporate or institutional investor cannot take the risk, and then we'll bridge those potential investment opportunities and collaboration opportunities, POC opportunity, R&D opportunity with global corporates. This is an example that I have mentioned earlier together with NEC, corporate collaborations with African startups. It has been very, very successful. We onboarded 1 agricultural tech companies and 1 smart city tech companies to NEC platform. We also work with international organizations such as UNDP, especially focusing on Angola, Zambia, Zimbabwe, and we invest into one of the Angola-focused startup. He's also here at the AIF. We also brought Japanese venture capital investors in those countries, including corporate venture capital funds, in order to co-invest together. And we also have made an ecosystem mapping. And our investment solutions focusing on those 4 sectors: mobility, transportation, EV, infrastructure, asset financing, logistics, and cold chain. So in case if anyone here is interested in collaborating in this area, please also reach me out. And together with the African Development Bank, we are setting up the TF facilities. We're going to be coming in, unlocking corporate collaborations and private sector investments together with the FAPA, European Commissions, and the French Development Agency, leveraging the FDB TF facility we are setting up together. Thank you so much for your audience, and then we are looking for engaging further. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I now call upon Ms. Tamao Tada from SpaceShift. And our ask is for you to share with us how SpaceShift, which specializes in satellite data and AI solutions, how do you see these technologies helping out in key sectors to accelerate private sector development and de-risk investments, especially in the agriculture and infrastructure sectors? Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me. Good afternoon. My name is Tamao. I'm Chief Business Officer. I'm in charge of the business development. SpaceShift is a Japanese startup developing AI for satellite data. So Solar Technology solution is the drone and AI, but the SpaceShift solution is space, the satellite and the AI. And we don't have any hardware like a rocket and satellite itself, and we are very focused on the data analytics itself. And actually, there are several different types of the satellite, like a weather satellite or navigation satellite, communication satellite, and so on. But we are very focused on the Earth observation satellite. And by producing the space-based insight through our high-precision AI-driven analytics data, we drive the expansion of the satellite data utilization market over the world. And SpaceShift AI is already applied across various industries like urban development, disaster monitoring, agricultural monitoring, and so on, but mainly in Japan. But recently, we are now have accelerated the business development initiatives in Africa as well. Our focus is empowering Africa's sustainable growth through satellite intelligence and strategic partnership. And recently at TICAD 9, held in Yokohama, Japan last August, we signed 2 MOUs with the 2 companies. So one company is the global SAF and bioethanol producer in Cote d'Ivoire, and we start satellite-based crop monitoring for bioethanol and SAF feed production and bring transparency to the bioethanol supply chain. And another is Africa's leading tractor sharing and mechanization platform. And SpaceShift deliver the prediction of the crop yield, and they identify the optimal timing or location for deploying the tractor. So our collaboration to contribute to advanced farm mechanization and also the improved harvest productivity in Africa. In addition, we organized a panel discussion at TICAD 9 with the African Development Bank, Mizuho Bank, and also Satellite America as a private company. And we discussed how satellite data can contribute to the business development and also how can reduce the risks of the investment. So inclusive of the result of the discussion, let me highlight why many high potential projects in Africa remain unfunded. The issue is not lack of the potential, but the lack of the visibility or reliable data throughout the project life cycle. We think that there are 3 major barriers to the investment. The first one is that many project areas are remote and hard to access, so investors or project owner have no the reliable way to confirm what is actually happening in the project site. And the second one is the project monitoring is infrequent. So infrequent field visit made it difficult to detect the delays, slippage, or construction issues delay. And finally, the third one is the lack of the objective or standardized data, we think. So without the trusted data sources, investors cannot validate progress or reconcile discrepancies between the reported and the reality. So as a result, visibility gaps lead to higher risk and higher cost, and ultimately discourage private investment. Indeed, while energy and water attract around 50% of investment, agriculture receive only about 5% despite their critical role in African GDP and employment. Report also mentioned that the issue is the lack of reliable data. So, for example, in Nigeria, we have implemented the pilot project to deliver the crop growth stages from the planting to the harvest timing using the time series data of the satellite, and also estimate the past harvest performance as well. So it surely enables the investors or project owner to have the access to reliable data. So finally, I would like to mention the potential contribution of the satellite and the AI for the investment. Satellite data works the transparency infrastructure that bridges Africa's finance gap and enables effective PPP and branded finance, we think. So there are a lot of words, so I pick up some items. So for example, in pre-investment phase, the satellite data de-risks investment decision at the earliest stages. And in monitoring and evaluation phase, also satellite data enables the standardized low-cost monitoring and scale. So I just would like to say from all across stages of the project, satellite data or AI strengthen the transparency, reduce risks, and help de-risk the investment in Africa. So we are very looking forward with working with many of yours and transparent this wonderful opportunity into the reality. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. This is something that we should be definitely looking at as a development finance institution and as part of our digitalization transformation. So, we've heard very interesting and inspiring case studies, and I have one question to ask the group, and we would like to hear from you the ways in which your business model or your technology contributes to the private sector development and improves the quality of life of people in Africa. So, I want to add that there was a subline or a byline to the question, but please answer it in a positive way. I'm sure that was expected, but we'd like to hear your views and personal experiences in this respect.
Thank you very much. I try to answer very in short. As I mentioned that for me, like example, IT company, we cannot do or achieve objective by ourselves only. So we have to work with other partner. For instance, Muto-san, investors, and other technology companies as well. JICA, AFDB, of course. Local government is, of course. And there are many potential. Once we develop the project, there will be other chances like local private sectors, private companies or startups involved in the activities. As I mentioned, in terms of the digitalization, that can make the activity report very quickly and accurately. Based on such evaluation report, the investors, beneficial countries, or JICA or AFTV can evaluate very quickly and make decision to expand the project or the extension to other areas, regions, or the next phase continuously and so on. And there's a supply chain after production to the end users, for instance, in case of agriculture. So once we can develop those better cycle, there are many opportunities, private sector, local private sector, and Japanese or other country private sector can be involved. So that is the direction we have to look at. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We haven't really yet utilized a very shiny technology yet, but we believe that better recognition, better evaluation, and a better supply chain to the linkage to a better market must be contributing back to the producer, the African people in the supply chain. So when we talk about technology, what we probably need to work on now is the collaboration to visualize the impact or to estimate, to evaluate the impact in the supply chain, utilizing the technologies just showcased here. So I would like to take this opportunity to expand such a network.
Yeah, so actually we are digitizing the health centers, so it's clear to improve the quality of the life in the people, but actually we are contributing to expand the private market as well. Actually, there are vast numbers of health centers who have no access to the smartphone and the internet, and although there are many innovative companies which will be useful to solve the problem in Africa, but once our solution will be deployed in health centers with smartphone, these health centers will be accessible for the private companies with the innovative solution of AI medical solutions and the stock management. Even the fintech company will come easily enter into the market. So we are trying to open the rural African market to the accessible for the private companies. So that will create some job creation and strengthen the supply chain management, as well as the improvement of the maternal health care.
Okay, thank you. Simply creating new job based on education. So of course our solution is supporting improving agriculture, the volume. But not only that, work with local university that we created class for drone AI. So then also the FAPA is supporting of this knowledge transfer. So based on education, we can create new jobs.
So from venture capital investor perspective, money is like the blood or fuel of the catalyzing the innovations and scaling innovations. So we would like to support those innovative companies, technology player in Africa, to help them to scale, unlock the potential, and provide a strategic collaborations with global players, institutions, corporates. And together with the African Development Bank and also the FAPA and also Africa Development Bank Innovation Lab team, we set a few key KPI and criteria. One of them is creating the job direct and indirect total 30,000 job in SME and then also mobility transportation area, and also achieving income increase by 30% in 5 years, and also reducing the greenhouse gas by 500,000 tons in 5 years, and then also the female engagements, increasing the entrepreneurs in female engagements and in mobility, transportation, fintech area by 20% by supporting the management to onboard more female board of directors. So as a financial institutions, from different angle, we are trying to take additional value, provide additional value to make the further impact and then scale the economical growth of the continents.
Thank you. So as I mentioned, there is a significant scope for financing agriculture compared with the other sectors in Africa. And we think that reliable data delivered by the satellites data, for example, attract the private business development, and also, for example, also enhance the credibility of small-scale farmers for accessing the financial services as well. And the infrastructure, it also can contribute to develop the resilient city, because the satellite data can monitor the land displacement or climate risks on the land. So I think that their technology enables improving the QOL of the people in Africa.
This is extremely inspiring and resonates very much with the mandate of FAPA and of the bank of JICA. I hope that you have all been as inspired as I have. Certainly, as we look forward to FAPA 2.0, which is a discussion that is ongoing, we shall most certainly be looking at how to stretch the innovative drive of this 20-year-old fund to bring us more results, more impact, and more effectiveness. So with this in mind, I thank you very much and hand over to the next moderator. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Cecil Lambert, my colleague here. If you can stay on stage, Mr. Miyawaki, please. Good photo there. Thank you. So we've got, of course, Cecil Lambert, very big thank you, Mr. Miyawaki. We've got Ms. Yamaguchi, Mr. Furuta, I've got Mr. Kaneko, Mr. Muto, and Ms. Tada. Very big thank you to them.